Speech versus violence. Why speech must never be treated as violence. In any just and principled society, this distinction between speech and violence must remain clear, sharp, and inviolable. To conflate the two is to erode one of the most essential foundations of free society, the ability to speak one's mind, no matter how offensive, radical, or emotionally charged the expression may be. The notion that speech should be punishable when it becomes threatening, hateful, or provocative may sound reasonable at first glance. After all, no one wants to see hate spread unchecked, nor feel endangered by another's words. However, when we begin to criminalize speech on the basis of what it might lead to, we start a dangerous process that blurs the line between thought and action, between frustration and harm, and between liberty and authoritarian control. Speech is not violence. To say something, no matter how ugly, is not to do something. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never break me, hurt me, is more than a childhood rhyme. It reflects the legal and moral reality that physical harm and spoken expression are different in kind. Violence involves coercion, violation, and irreversible consequences. Speech, by contrast, is reversible, arguable, and most importantly, non-coercive. A statement like, "I will murder you in your sleep," may sound terrifying, but unless accompanied by credible planning and imminent intent, it remains just that, a statement. To punish someone legally for such speech is to equate emotional discomfort with bodily harm. Once that precedent is set, where do we stop? Is a heated argument a crime? Is a joke in poor taste an offense? Is political dissent that makes others feel unsafe punishable? These are no longer hypothetical questions in many modern legal systems. History shows that suppression does not eliminate dangerous ideas. It sanctifies them. Censorship turns falsehood into martyrdom. When extremists are silenced rather than debated, they gain a powerful narrative of victimhood. Their ideas, instead of being challenged and dismantled, are pushed underground where they fester, unexamined and unrefuted. As John Stuart Mill wrote in On Liberty, the peculiar evil of silencing the expression of an opinion is that it robs the human race. Even false or offensive opinions serve a purpose. They force society to test its own convictions and correct its errors. There's also a profound ethical issue in punishing speech. If words alone become crimes, the incentive to refrain from real violence is weakened. Suppose I say, "I will kill you," and this is treated as a crime. In that case, I have already crossed a legal threshold, even though I did not act. The difference between speaking violently and acting violently becomes smaller. But if the law draws a strict line, speech is free, violence is not, then I have a strong incentive to remain within the boundaries of speech, to vent rather than to act. Protecting speech, including disturbing or hostile speech, encourages people to use expression instead of violence. It gives them an outlet. It provides society with warning signs and opportunities for intervention before real harm occurs. It makes clear that frustration and anger, though powerful, can and must stop short of violating another's physical freedom. To say that speech and violence are different is not to excuse hate or cruelty. It is to insist that the law must deal in actions, not feelings, in harm, not offense. As soon as the state begins to police speech for its potential to offend or incite, it claims the power to decide whose feelings matter and whose ideas are too dangerous to tolerate. In a free society, no word, no matter how vile, should ever be met with physical punishment. The moment we punish speech as violence, we invite tyranny in the name of protection. And history has shown us, tyranny rarely begins with silence, but it always depends on it.